Hey, cornbread review off the bat, bro. You might not like my review then, man. Yeah, so all in all, man, I ended up coming up 2.5 out of 5. Two of them things. Yo. 5 out of 5 cornbreads for the cornbread review. What you think? Yo, welcome back for another episode of Cornbread Movie Review. I appreciate y'all for making it back. And today we are here for the series finale. But before we even get into that, Trey, what up, man? Say what's up to the Cornbread Movie Review, man.
Hey, how you doing? As always, thank you for having me back.
No problem, man. How can people reach you, bro?
Urbana Ghost at Instagram. You know, that's where I'll be at.
Okay, get them likes up. Get them likes up, man. I hear you,
yes,
man.
Sir.
And y'all can follow me at Cornbread1016 and also Cornbread Movie Review. But we are here for the highly anticipated. You know, a lot of people was waiting, hey, when the series finale coming out, so we had to put this thing together again and talk about it. And we don't start anything that we can't finish, right? So we definitely got to talk about today. Let's talk about Cosby, man. We got to talk about him. The last, if you haven't seen this, it's on Hulu. It's also on Showtime as well. This episode's about another 58 minutes. So they've been, under an hour each episode. So not too bad. It's 4 parts. It is TVMA. Once again, do not watch this with the little kiddies running around, or even little preteens. Man, the content is pretty wild, man. And then it's also narrated by was it W. Kamal Bell? That's his name. So and we saw him a little bit more in this episode, so that's good. Anything you want to talk about before we get started on this last episode?
Wow, that's all I got.
Absolutely. The episode starts off with the comedian joking, Hannibal Buress talking about, hey, if you Google, you Google Bill Cosby rape, he said that got more, likes or streams than me.
Likes than Hannibal Buress. More clicks than Hannibal Buress.
Yeah, than Hannibal Buress, man.
I can talk down to you because I had a successful sitcom. Yeah, it was great living, Bill Cosby, so kind of brings it down a couple notches. I don't curse on stage, but yeah, you're a rapist, so it'll take you saying lots of motherfuckers on Bill Cosby himself if you want to rape.
And that kind of really set off, I guess, the divide between African Americans at that point, right? It's like the African Americans that did believe that Bill Cosby committed these crimes, and then the other ones saying, how dare y'all even, because of the history of black men, especially with white women, how dare y'all believe all the white women over this one black male who's been in your life forever, So do you remember that viral moment? It was kind of like one of the first viral moments.
I don't, not really, to believe, or to be honest. I don't remember him saying that. Now towards like when the case was starting and stuff like that, then I did look and see it, but at first I didn't know about it at all.
Right.
So it kind of shocked me, and it was Hannibal Buress, and if you look at his career started going up after that moment a little bit, and he started being around more, getting that name out more.
That's true. And I don't even think anybody was filming. I mean, like a professional filming it. It was somebody's cell phone who caught the clip and then, made it viral. So that was pretty crazy. I think, we've seen the progression from episode 1 of the history of things to the history of things 3. Now we're kind of more in the common times of the past, let's say 5 years of what's going on with Bill Cosby. So the past 5 years, you kind of see, or even a little bit longer, where you see that Bill Cosby kind of sees himself as other, not as a black male. And that's when he started shunning those black males of, not being in people's lives, the crack cocaine, being gangsters, sagging your pants, and talking on them. And like, how could y'all do that? But in reality, it's like it's plenty of reasons how they could do that, because of the systemic racism, obviously no education around. Like you said, the fathers are gone. So these kids are growing up without that fatherly figure. So they're just going to go to the streets, man. So so what you think about how he tried to shun the African Americans, especially the Afro-American males?
Yeah, I forgot what what they called that speech. They had a word for it. I forget what it was. They had a name for it. But yeah, like I was talking about in that first episode, like, you know, I was really into Cosby, or I watched Cosby a lot, but then it was like, man, you always knocking down black people and the rappers and movie stars and what have you, saying that they aren't good and we should take ownership. And that one moment with, was it with Wanda Sykes, where he was like,
Yeah.
we speak English. Like, that's the, or we spoke proper or whatever. Like, that's the type of thing that I was like, oh. So seeing that and seeing other people's perspective on it really opened my eyes too, to like, okay, it wasn't just me that thought this was a little bit out of left field, if you will.
And it was very hypocritical, bro.
Right.
Very hypocritical to look down on people, let's say, committing crimes to survive. But you're out here, you know, allegedly, you know, putting quaaludes and sexually assaulting and, you know, doing other things to women, you know, very hypocritical. Let's get into the NBC. I know they kind of debunked that rumor where, like, he wanted to buy NBC and they denied him. And then obviously they let these allegations out there, right? But this shows that no, NBC tried to start another show with him on top of knowing these allegations, and that show was called The Center, which I don't know. What was The Center supposed to be about? Just him?
Just him in old age. Pretty much the same thing as Cosby, just like helping. I believe from what I was reading, but just him like helping the youth and just real centered on like his later stage in life, not so much the whole family sitcom,
right.
But like, you know, him mentoring people, if you will.
And even for the NBC to know like, I think at the time it was 2 allegations and still want to move forward with this big show. It's very disheartening. But I think it's reality though. I think a lot of people know, you know, other companies out there, they look at the bottom line. They look at their dollar, right? They don't care about who was hurt in between that, man. So, now the first couple episodes I think we discussed was very difficult to watch, at least for me, right? On the stories of what we've seen about 3 or 4 women.
Right.
But I think at this point they were at 60. And first off, that's a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? To say that, no.
Yeah.
I think you said in episode 1 that what your parents say, everybody ain't lying, right?
Everybody
like,
is
these are
not
women
lying.
who don't know. These are women who don't know each other.
And I think
and they have similar stories. Go ahead.
And what did Godfrey, or was it Godfrey, or one of them said, nah, at first it was like 4 or 5 women. I was like, of course they got the same story. She watched them on daytime TV, so then she went over the next time. Right. Was like, nah. And then he was like, it got to like 56. I was like, so that was definitely a cringe moment for me.
Absolutely. Even one of his co-stars on the Cosby Show. Remember he, I guess somebody who worked on the Cosby Show, the female, talked to him in the car. And it was like, no, I didn't come forward. I'm not one of those 60 and I didn't come forward. And do you believe me? And he said he didn't believe any of them until that person that he really knew said that. And he believed it.
That one lady. And I'm not sure. And then you start seeing a lot more women kind of fighting back or getting hit to his whole little routine, because that one lady said, nah, I ain't drinking no cappuccino. Then she drank it, and then she was like, you mother, like, wow, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's some bold stuff that he did.
It is, especially remember the lady said, no, every time I saw Bill Cosby, I had somebody else with me. Like she said, a boyfriend, husband, parents, stuff like that. Like that, no. And that's terrible that they have to, they got to maneuver like that to be around, let's say, their celebrity or their father figure, because they don't know what he's going to do, which is a problem. Let's also discuss when these women did come forward, you know, the scrutiny behind it. You know, even like a couple, I think one of the ladies said her husband kind of divorced her from it, you know, even though their kid was like, no, come forward, you know, come forward, speak your piece, you know, because it might help you, but it might help the person who didn't come forward. So you want to speak more on, you know, just coming, the women speaking out on behalf of this incident?
Yeah, I've never been in that situation and haven't really known anybody to be in that situation. But, from what I've heard and what I've seen, like, it's very traumatizing and it's very, takes a lot of guts, especially for somebody that is to his status or celebrity status. So you did see a lot of people breaking down, a lot of people, relationships outside of just Bill Cosby, like deteriorate, like you said, that one divorce. But then I also liked that one lady. I forget her name, but her husband was like her rock. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, facts.
Like, Dan, like, you need to do this, and I'll be there with you forever. Like, he was like, I was watching that one interview with this lady, and he was like, all these really sound the same from what my wife was telling me about her interaction with Bill Cosby. So, on one end, they didn't have to do it alone. And when you saw those people that did not have to do it alone versus the ones that did do it alone, regardless, it was still very traumatizing, it seemed. And they were saying, but it gave them a little bit more strength to do it. And I think one big thing out of this that I want to get to, that I got from this was just, don't disregard anybody's saying or what they're telling you. Kind of believe them and help them get through it, process it, whatever they need from you, instead of automatically saying, "Oh no," especially if it's somebody of celebrity status.
Absolutely. There's a lot of victim blaming too. Like they even said in the courtroom. It's
Yeah.
like, well, what do you mean you had two Quaaludes? What do you mean you wore a dress? What do you mean you were with behind closed doors? You know what I'm saying?
Why did you take this drink?
Just because somebody did take a drink or a Quaalude or one at the party or whatever doesn't mean that they signed up to be sexually assaulted or raped, right? So
Right.
like you have to separate those things. So even if they did do that thing, doesn't mean that they wanted a crime to happen to them, right? Because that's very traumatizing to them. The deposition, man, 2005. They spoke a little bit about that. No, Bill Cosby admitted to these things, even though it wasn't supposed to be unsealed, right? But he did admit to these things. Was it more shocking to you, or you? I remember you said you kind of knew what happened, so did you get all the answers for you?
Yeah, so while we were at Urbana High School tearing up the football field in 2005,
Hey.
he was out there giving that
Come see
deposition. But yeah, when we were talking about on the first episode, like, that's why he got out of jail, was because of this. And he had mentioned, he was like, I'm buying this amount of pills with the intent to give them to girls to have sex with them. So it like sounded like he wasn't like throwing him, like, or like just dropping them in their drinks, but he knew what they would do and what he was getting them for. He wasn't getting them to go to sleep, obviously. They were the party
Absolutely.
drug. And it didn't shock me that he said that. It was another kind of cringe moment, knowing what we know now.
Yeah, and he doesn't say, hey, I have these Quaaludes. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, no, take these, you'll feel better. So he's doing it very sneaky anyway. The
Right.
initial part is sneaky. Especially, hey, come to my after party, but it's just me and you. He's setting it up all wrong, man. So this series, let's talk about as a whole, what's one good thing that you got from it and one bad thing. I can go first if you want me to, so you can have time to think.
Yeah, that's
go
fine.
first?
Go ahead.
All right, so one good thing and one bad thing. So one good thing that I got from this is definitely that I didn't grow up in those times, when Bill Cosby was on the come up, the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. And I have a new respect for the barriers that he did break down for African Americans, especially African American males, right? Like, we're not shucking and jiving and doing all that stuff. He's like, no, we could be smart, educated, buttoned up men in the society of entertainment. Especially when it came to the stunt doubles. Remember that of, hey, they used to get white men and put them in blackface. But no, like with Bill Cosby, like, no, we got to stop that. We got to get a real African-American to be my stunt double, because they could do everything. Especially being let's say, American's dad. He stepped up to the plate of, hey, if you don't have a dad or you don't have a mom or whatever, just go off of my wisdom, and I guarantee it guided those people through that. So that was one good thing to learn more history about his journey, especially in comedy and everything like that. Now, the bad thing that I took from this is that he used that to get women, and not even to get women. Like, we're not talking about, oh, he just committed adultery. He's doing one of the worst acts that you can do as a human, right? Like, other than pedophilia or something like that, and murder, he's raping and sexually assaulting these women. And us growing up, we're millennials, right? So to me, he didn't grow up. I didn't look up to him because he was already old by that time, right? So the equivalent to me would be kind of like if Obama did this. Now, if Obama did this, we'd be like, whoa, what's going on? We'll have to do more investigation, or I might take more self-defense with Obama. But with Bill Cosby, I never had that connection with him. So like you said, we need to definitely listen to people, both sides. Right. And that's why we have a court system. Let's say the court system is wrong, but at least you went through it. You spoke your piece. Don't shun anybody. Don't victim shame and all these other things. I think we can all learn from this documentary of how to proceed for the next 30, 40 years, especially when we hear our mothers, sisters, brothers, whoever gets assaulted. We can, hopefully give them tools to be successful, man. So what you take from it?
So, yeah, what I took from it was one thing I wish this should have been happened a lot earlier. It should have come out a lot earlier as far as just a documentary, letting people know what he actually did. And maybe they were waiting. I wouldn't say they weren't waiting for the trial to be over, because it's been over. He was convicted. He was in jail. But
right.
I was thinking then maybe they were waiting for him to speak, but he doesn't ever speak on here, and he declined to speak on there. So I just think it needed to come out sooner. The thing that I personally think people should take away from, and you touched on it, and we touched on it a little bit before, is no matter who celebrity status they are, trust everyone, but just don't trust the devil inside of them,
Right.
Like, he was a good dude. But, you know what I'm saying, behind closed doors, there's a lot of things you don't know what people do and how they are. And for him to use his celebrity status, which he, rightfully so, did a lot of great things for the advancement of Black people in movies, in theater, in show business, period. But then to go against and I can't even call it a bad judgment, because this has been in like 20, 30 years, so it ain't bad judgment. He's just a creep. To go against and do that to people is kind of bad. So you just need to really understand who you're idolizing, and don't idolize like celebrities necessarily, or if you do, take it with a grain of salt and understand that, they do have doors are closed doors. They do go behind closed doors, and you might find some things that you don't like. So just really pay attention who your kids look up to, like the rappers and
social media
like that.
stuff.
Right, social media stuff, even like the good images, like too much of a good thing could hurt the child too, thinking that they're not being up to that, or a regular person isn't, or an adult isn't living up to who they should be, because everybody always watching somebody else's life, so really does a toll on you. So just really think for yourself and understand that everybody is a person too. And like you said, don't victim shame, try to comfort that person in any way you need to, any way they need you to.
Especially, I'm tired of hearing this rape culture stuff.
Right.
Like, it shouldn't be a culture, right? If one person's doing some creepy shit or whatever, everybody has to speak up. No, if you want these females back here to do your dirt, you're going to go get these females and do your dirt, right? I'm not going to be the middleman and raggle them up or put them all in the U-Haul, bring them over to your place, and then I'm going to leave, not knowing what the hell's going on over there, especially if you heard some stuff going on. Like, nah, bro. Like, you got to start. It's very difficult for these people to do all the work, right? To get to the ending, they're not doing the first, second, third, or fourth, but they're doing the fifth. So let them do all the work then, and it's going to be less numbers by then, or they're going to get caught, because now they're leaving more evidence and things like that, right? So this rape culture stuff in every work scenario needs to stop. you know. So
Perfectly.
that's what I got, man. Any last words, man?
Hey, man, I appreciate you letting me join for this little 4-series part, man. It's always
man.
a pleasure.
Always appreciate it. We definitely got another series to tackle, man. Some other crazy dude over there. You know, we'll get to him when we get to him, man. But
Alumni of
thank you again for.
U of I.
Yeah, I know, man. We got to talk to him, man. But we talked about Cosby, man. I think in this 4-part series, we appreciate the comments. You know, good or bad, let them slide. We appreciate y'all sharing this, and hopefully this starts the conversation. Right at the end of the day, it's not everything's not just black and white. It's no. We got to definitely look at the gray and dissect the gray and see what's going on, so that we can stop it from now on. So, Trey, once again, how can people reach you, man?
Urbana Ghost on Instagram. Let me know if there's any new shows or any documentaries that I might need to see. Throw them in the comments and let us know, man.
That's a fact, man. Follow me on Cornbread1016. Thank y'all again. And I'll be back next week, man. I'm dropping episodes all the time. Just make sure you like and subscribe. Follow the movement. All right? I'll let y'all next time. Peace.